Hi folks, welcome back to TutorTiki. So today we are going to learn about how JavaScript engine works behind the browser, and we'll also learn about the flow of execution in JavaScript engine. So let's jump into that. So each browser contains a JavaScript engine. So like Google Chrome use V8 engine, Internet Explorer used Chakra engine, and Firefox use SpiderMonkey. So with the sample of code, we'll understand how this code gets parsed into JavaScript engine and how the flow of execution works. So via diagram, I just want to explain you how it works. So this is our sample code and this is our JavaScript engine. So once we execute our sample code in JavaScript engine, it goes through the parser. What parser does, it will check your all the syntax error over here. If there is no syntax error in your code, then it will convert into the machine code, and this machine code runs in the JavaScript engine. So the code executes. So via parser, it checks for the reference error, all the syntax error what you have in the code. If there is no syntax error, it will move to convert into the machine code. And once machine code is ready, it will execute in the JavaScript engine. Now let's understand what would be the flow of execution for that sample code. So whenever we execute a code, it creates a execution context in the JavaScript engine. So what is execution context? So it's a container or place where it stores all the variables, arguments, and where our code executes in that environment. So let's see how it works. So this is our sample code. And on the right side, if you see, there is a global execution context as well on top of execution stack. What is execution stacks? We'll understand with the sample code. So right now, if you see, the first line will execute let x equals to tutor. So this is in the global execution context because the variable is not inside the method, it's a global variable. So it will present in the global execution context. Then the JavaScript engine will execute the next line. So this is the function. Then it will execute the next one. Then it will execute the function method 3. It will just read the line. It will not execute the content of the method. Then it will go to method 1. So now over here at the last line, we are calling method 1. So it will go to method 1. So then when we execute the method 1, on top of global execution context, it will create another execution context for method 1. So let's move to the next line, that is method 2. Now we are calling method 2. So again, it will create a new execution context for method 2. So here it is. So on top of method 1, it will create an execution context for method 2. So now the next line will get executed, that is method 3. Again, we are calling 3. So it will go to the method 3. So it will again create execution context of method 3. And then the next line will get executed. Now over here, our method 3 gets executed and it gets completed. So from the execution stack, that execution context will get removed. Now it will go to the let that equal to b plus x. Now over here also at this line, the method 2 gets completed. So again, it will remove from the execution stack, and then method 1 gets completed. It will remove from the execution stack. So this is how JavaScript engine works and how it parses the code and how the flow of execution works in JavaScript engine. Now let's dive deeper into execution context. So what is the execution context and how it behaves? So execution context is nothing but a object. So it creates in two phases. First is creation phase and the second is execution phase. In creation phase, we have three components. First is variable object. It contains all the arguments passed into the function and the variables declared inside the function. The second is scope chain. It identifies whether you can access the variable defined inside the function and outside the function. So let's say you have two methods. The first from the first method, you cannot access the variable of second method, or from the second method, you cannot access the variable of first method. But whatever variable defined outside the method, you can access that. Like a window object, you can access it from anywhere because that is a global object. Next is this variable. So when you create a function, so it identifies what is the reference of this variable, where it refer to. So that will be created in the creation phase. Now let's understand the variable object. So the argument which is created, that contains all the argument passed into the function. So when you call the function, so whatever the parameters defined in the function, that will be present in the variable object. Now the second thing, when you scan the code, for each function, there is a property created in the variable object corresponding to that function that will be pointing to that function. Then again, code is scanned for the declaration of the variables. So a property is created in the variable object and set to undefined. So both these steps, the last two steps, are called hoisting in JavaScript. Now the next is execution phase. In this phase, the value is assigned to the variable and the code executes. Now let's learn more about hosting. So it consists of three steps. First is declaration, second is initialization, and the third is usage. If you see, for example, when we write var name, it is called variable declaration. So if you assign a value name equals to 150, it is called initialization. And if you use somewhere in the code, then we are accessing that variable. So now we have done enough talking. So let's walk the talk and jump into the coding and understand the concept better. I have set up a workspace over here for your understanding. So I have index.html over here. I have included a JS file over here, and I have extension over here that is live server. So that will launch the server and it will run the coding. So let's run the live server over here. So it's running index.html, and then over here in the hosting.js we have a sample of code that we'll see in the browser how it behaves. So over here I have declared a variable. This is called declaration. I have assigned a value to that variable. This is called initialization, and here I am accessing this variable. And same is for the function. So here I am declaring the function. So this is called function declaration. And then over here I'm calling that function. So it means I'm accessing that function and printing the value whatever it is returning from the function. So this is pretty straightforward: declaration, initialization, and then usage. So let's see what is the value coming in the browser. So here, if you go to the inspect element, if you want to see the console, go to the console tab. So over here, if you see, TutorTech is coming and the value of that add method is returning 11. So if you see over here, so let's minimize this. Yeah. So over here, if you see, this add, we are passing 5 and 6, so it gives you the sum of 11. So this is pretty straightforward. Now let's play around with the code. So what I will do, I will move this line over here and try to run it. Let's go back to the browser and let's run it again. So you see, now it is coming undefined, because in the creation phase the value is created and set to undefined, and in the execution phase, before assigning the value, we are trying to access it. So that's why the value is coming undefined, because in the creation phase we have set the value to undefined. So now what I will do, one more step, I will use this one and put it before the declaration as well. Save it and let's see what happens in the browser. Reload the page again. Again, it is coming undefined. It's not saying that variable is not defined. So why it is happening? Because if you see the process, there are two phases: creation phase and the execution phase. So first creation phase happens. So in the backend, in what JavaScript engine does, it puts this declaration on top of the function scope. Right now it's the global scope, so it will go top of it. So the interpretation from the JavaScript engine is like this. Even if you write below this line, the engine interprets it like this code. So that's why it's coming undefined. Now let's understand the function declaration. Over here, we are defining a function add over here, and then we are calling it. So let's move these two as well before declaration and then see what happens. Save it. Let's run this code again. So still we are getting 11. Even we are using the method before declaration, but still it is able to access this method. Why it is happening? Because function declaration happens in the creation phase. So even if you write like this, it will move to the top of the scope like this, because this is a function declaration. So there are two things in the function when we define it. There are two kind of function that we can define. One is the function declaration that we have defined right now, and the other is function expression. So how we can define that? So I already have the code over here. So if you uncomment this code, so when you create a function and assign it to a variable, then this is called function expression. Yeah. So now let's see what happens right now in the browser. Because right now we are declaring it and then we are using it. So it is pretty straightforward. So it will give you the value, I think. So X is not defined. Okay, so it should be A and B. Save it. Let's run this. So here we are getting, okay, we are not consoling the value. So let's print it out. Console.log and then let's run it. Here we are getting the multiplication of two variables. Now let's move this before declaration and save it and then run it. So what is saying? Multiply is not a function. Why it is happening? Because this function expression is not a function declaration. It is actually a variable that contains the function. So when creation phase happens, this value will be undefined, and when it try to execute this multiply, so this multiply contains undefined value. So that's why it is saying that multiply is not a function. But that is not the case with function declaration, because function declaration happens at creation phase. So that is the difference between function expression and function declaration. Now let's understand this sample. What is happening in this case? Let's say we have a function, right? And we have initialized a variable, declaring and initializing at the same time. So let's save it and then let's call this method. Let's comment out rest of the code. Save it and run. So it is saying undefined. So what is happening in the backend in the JavaScript engine? So whenever you declare and initialize, so what happens? The actual code that is running behind the scene is like var init and this console. So the declaration would go to the top of the function because var is a functional scope variable. So over here, so this is what it means in the JavaScript engine. Even if you write like this, the JavaScript engine interprets like this. So var init, the value is defined at the execution phase. That's why it's printing undefined. So when you move it after the assigning the value, now if you see, you will get the value. So this is how hosting work in JavaScript. Now there are two new variables in ES6. First is let and the second is constant. So first understand what is let and constant, and then we'll explain how hosting works for these two, let and constant. Those are different from var. So let's understand how let works and what is the difference between let and var. After that, we'll move into the hosting part of let and constant. So
let is a block scope and var is a functional scope. What I mean to say, I will just explain you with the example. So let's comment this code as well, and let's copy this code and we'll put it over here. I have a test function, I'm calling it from here. So I have a block over here. Block means the curly braces, whatever we use, right? So this is also called, but this is a functional block, and this is a if block. So inside the if block, I have created variable using let keyword, and then I am printing that value, that variable, but we are not assigning it right now. And then again, we have two variables, one with let keyword and one with var keyword, and I'm just printing those two values in the browser. And then after the function if block completes, then again I'm printing the value of two variables. So year defined with var, month defined with let. So let's see what is happening in the browser when we reload it. So first is undefined let count, and then it's straightforward because we have declared it but we haven't assigned a value, so it should be undefined. Now the next console is month, that is inside if for let. So it is printing the value here inside it, also printing the value 2020, and then here outside if, inside function for var. For var it is printing the value, but for month, which is defined using let keyword, it's saying that reference num error, month is not defined. Why it is saying that? Because as I already told you that let keyword, let variables are block scope and var variables are functional scope. So even if you define like this, what happens in the backend? In the JavaScript engine, the actual code would look like var here. So it would, the declaration would move to the top of the functional scope. But in case of let, it is block scope. So if you define any variable using let, you cannot access outside the block scope. So for this variable, the block scope is if condition only. So this variable, this let variable, you cannot access outside the if scope, but you can access the var variable because var variable is functional scope. So even if you define inside a if block, you can access inside the function. So that is the major difference between var and let. Now, how hosting happens for the let. So let's undo the changes. So for the var, if you access this variable before declaration, like let's use this. Let's comment these two. Comment out these two as well. And try to access the value here before declaration. And if I try to access the value, so let's remove these two as well, we don't require now, and console and then month. Wait, let's run it. We're saying cannot access month before initialization, but the further code is not getting executed, that's why console is not coming. But if you write this code above this let error, then you will be able to see the value. So undefined is coming, that is fine for the var, because in the creation phase var is already declared. So in the execution phase, when this code is scanned and run, the year value is still not assigned, so value is undefined. But for the let, it's not the same case. It's giving you the error. It's saying that you cannot access month before initialization. So this area, so when you define and declare the let variable, right? So from that line till the top of the scope, this is called temporal dead zone. You cannot access this month variable from this line till this block scope. This is the difference between let and var as well. Now let's understand the constant variable. So let's remove all this. Let's comment it out. And I'll have a constant. Let's say this is a pi variable 3.14. So constant variable, you cannot do like declare and then initialize. You have to declare and initialize together, and you cannot assign a value further. So if you try to do something like 4, something like this, then it will give you the error. So let's run it. So assignment to constant variable, this is the error we are getting. Or if you want to try like this, constant pi, and then assigning the value. See, again it's saying identifier pi has already been declared, so you cannot assign it again. So you have to declare and assign together for constant. And the hosting for constant is similar to the let. It is also a block scope variable. Now we have another keyword, that is class, and how hosting works for class. Let's understand that. So let's comment it out. First, let's see how we can declare class in JavaScript. So write class, let's say student, create a constructor, value, let's say name, age, and start name equals to name is equals to is, and then let's create an object for this class. So I will say student equals new student name key, and then set it, and let's start to run this. This is how we declare student in JavaScript, and this is how we create the object of that class. So let's save it and just want to see if there is any error in the browser. There is no error because we are declaring the class over here and then we are accessing it. Now let's move this and put it before declaration and then see what happens. So cannot access student before initialization. Again, this is similar to let and constant. You cannot access the class before declaration. You have to access after the declaration, and the hosting would be same as let and constant. So that's it from this video. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe our channel to get the latest notification of our videos.